Hey guys. So, I just watched the first episode of It, Welcome to Derry. And I think as there's two episodes out right now. I'm not gonna watch the second one because it's late and I'd rather go to bed. Um, uh, and I think I'm probably gonna what I'm gonna do because the show is like ongoing. I'll probably just do a video after each episode that I watch. Because here's my thing, all right? I'm a huge fan of Stephen King, but I'm especially a huge fan of it and the entire Pennywise like lore. Uh, and as much as I liked the classic It movie, that was the TV movie or whatever, and I like the remakes too. I was a really big fan of the remakes. Um, the thing the problem with both of those movies is that if you read the book which I tend to read it at least once a year, um, I either read the whole thing once a year or occasionally I'll break it up and I'll maybe read the whole thing. Like sometimes I read the first half of it and then I'll stop reading it for 6 months and then I'll read the second half by the next year. But anyway, I love that story because it's just good writing. But when you read the book, you realize that the story about Bill Denbrough and his friends isn't the full story of it. That's what the movies are about, and the movies condense it to that because, to be frank, the story of it is really about Derry. It's a whole mythos surrounding Derry, and it centers around Bill Denbrough and his friends and how they defeat Pennywise the first time and then once and for all. And that's why, and this is spoilers for the book, but not for the television show. But that's why whenever Pennywise is killed in the books, Derry actually is destroyed. Like, not utterly, but for the most part. It would be like if, wherever city you live in, it would be like if downtown went underground, like just sank underground. Like, how do you recover from that? You don't. Um, because Pennywise and Pennywise's influence was so essential and integral to the building of the town that once it was gone, the town literally could no longer sustain itself. Anyway, um, so yeah, I love the story of it, and I have to grab my phone charger because apparently it's dying. There we go. I love the story of it, but I was really excited about the show, It, Welcome to Derry, because, like I said, like the movies cannot possibly capture all of what happens in the book. It's just not possible. It would, at the very least, have to be like a mini series or something like that, like in the same way that Altered Carbon is on Netflix and every episode feels like a movie, but that's why there's 8 episodes in the first season or whatever. It would have to be like that. It would have to be like at least probably 8 to 12 episodes, um, to encapsulate everything in the story. So I was looking forward to this. Like I said, I'm gonna try to keep the spoilers for the show itself to a minimum, but I'm just excited because I like the idea of being able to see more of the stories that are told in the book. Um, or even if it's not necessarily the stories, even if it's just like the essence of it. Because to be frank, I just like the idea of Pennywise. I think Pennywise is a great metaphor for lots of the evil in the world and all the many forms that it takes. It just sort of, it meaning Pennywise, just sort of like fills in the gaps. Like that's what it says in the book. It uses what is already available and just and exacerbates it. The thing is, and the reason why didn't think that a show like this could ever be is because, to be very frank, in order to tell the story of Pennywise, you need to be comfortable with telling a story that involves a high amount of child deaths. And given the climate of America right now, I mean, in the past too, but also especially right now, I just didn't think that we would do that kind of a thing. Because Pennywise kills people, but mostly children. Pennywise does kill mostly children. That's what it feeds on. Um, and so I was just like, yeah, like how are they gonna do a show? Honestly, also what I was thinking about in watching this show, and again, I've only seen the first episode so far, but I'm just like, the thing is, when you read the book, you learn that Bill Denbrough and his friends aren't the only ones who become aware of Pennywise's existence, and they aren't the only ones who become aware of the cycle and all that other stuff. They just become the only ones who succeed in doing serious harm to it and then eventually killing it. But during the course of the story, Mike Hanlon, who's like the group's historian, he does meet with people who straight up at some point tell him like, "Hey, are like the thing that you are meddling in, the thing that you were investigating, it's dangerous. It's dangerous." And there are people, mostly old timers, who are very, very aware of what lives underneath Derry, metaphorically. It's like, but it's dangerous, and you need to be careful because most of us, we know what it is, but we just leave it alone because it's terrifying. It's a terrifying prospect to mess with this. So some people, and in the story it tells us too, some people just leave Derry and never come back, for their own reasons. But many of them end up just staying there because, well, because it's hard to leave a town sometimes. Saying all that to just say I'm enjoying the show so far. It's got that. There's no sign of Pennywise yet, at least not in the clown form, but it does have that deranged horror feel that you get from Pennywise. And much to my surprise, there are child deaths in this show. And I have to be very careful how I say this because I'm not saying, obviously, again, given the climate of America right now, I'm not saying that I want to see children dying. Of course not. What I want is for a faithful retelling of a certain kind of a story. And again, given that this kind of story does involve very sensitive, very volatile content, I was thinking, they're not going to show that. But I just finished the first episode, and bravo, guys, you're on the right path. It took a couple of hard right turns that I was not expecting it to take for at least a couple of episodes. But hey, I'm happy. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that they are not shying away from the vicious nature of this story. I am curious to see what else they do with it, though. So, I will do another video after I watch the second episode, which will probably be tomorrow. We'll see. I could watch it now. It's another thing. I'm not like afraid to watch it because it's dark or anything like that, because I'm so in love with the story itself. I can't possibly be afraid of it, But I just got other things to do, and every episode is an hour long, and I don't want to be up until 2 o'clock watching scary things. Because honestly, it might affect my dreams. I'm not going to say it won't. Like, even if I'm not afraid, I have been having weird dreams lately, and they've been stressful enough without me without me adding on the added influence of Pennywise the clown. Oh, but I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it.